Well, several No Kings protests were held across northeast Wisconsin today against the current administration. We begin with news out of Winnebago County. It's where 5 people were taken to the hospital after a wrong-way truck crashed into 4 different vehicles. The Packers vs. Cancer initiative is back for a 9th year. It was kicked off with a surprise visit from a defensive lineman to a Green Bay hospital. Elsewhere in the Middle East, Israel says a missile launched from Yemen for the first time during the war in Iran. Well, we're tracking our next weather maker of showers. We check in now with meteorologist Audrey Lee on if Mother's Day will stay sunny and when to expect this rain.
Back-to-back wins against the Yankees.
It's always good to see them beat the Yankees, or just see the Yankees lose in general.
Not a big Yankees fan, I can tell, Tony.
No, not at all. I'm from Minnesota. We begin with an update this morning. The Stevens Point Area Public School District says it needs more money and is asking taxpayers for help. Despite coming a day late, plenty of compromise was met in the new biennial state budget. Some of the biggest issues agreed on include tax cuts, more funding for the UW system, and child care. We have a project education report from Oshkosh. Community members had the chance to say goodbye to an area elementary school this morning. Winter Storm Diego is bringing in rain, snow, wind, and colder temperatures. So when exactly can we expect Diego? To answer that question, we bring in meteorologist Audrey Lee. House Republicans rejected a bipartisan Senate plan to temporarily fund the Department of Homeland Security, passing their own stopgap bill last night instead. Breaking news just into our newsroom this morning. Country singer Toby Keith died Monday at the age of 62 after a battle with stomach cancer. Keith was diagnosed with stomach cancer in 2022. Okay, so let's get right into it. So you vetoed the roundabout plan at 4th and Division. What's the update on that?
So at our last council meeting,
all aboard for the Tales on the Rails. Step into spring with a storytime adventure at the National Railroad Museum. The man accused of shooting and killing Charlie Kirk has now been charged. Tyler Robinson appeared in court for the first time since getting arrested last week. My coworkers are kind of giving me the business about that, so I need some ideas of what to get for Christmas gifts. What do you have here for us?
Hey, you and me both, Tony.
Tiger Woods is out on bail after he was arrested for driving under the influence following a car crash on Friday. State health officials are recommending all Wisconsinites 6 months and older get the COVID-19 vaccine.
I don't know if they're going to tear it all the way down or what, but just, I don't know, kind of a landmark.
Right now on Sunrise 7, a building collapse in Anago leaves a mess downtown. What we know so far is crews begin to clean up.
It's a bit of a wet start this morning as we have light rain moving in. Temperatures warm Wednesday and over the weekend. Find out how hot it will go coming up.
Plus, the total solar eclipse has come and gone. We take you to a viewing event held at UW Stevens Point.
And later, a weight loss drug does more than just that. It also helps lower symptoms from a disease. Sunrise 7's Chandler Doctor will be in studio to explain.
You're waking up with Sunrise 7.
Good morning, and thank you so much for waking up with us here on Sunrise 7. I'm Erin Taylor.
And I'm Tony Langfellow. Well, Erin, good morning. We are post-solar eclipse now, and from what I'm hearing, it was a pretty good show out there.
Yeah, definitely a pretty good show if you weren't in all the cloud coverage that we were up here. And that gloomy weather is continuing this morning, Audrey, looking pretty rainy out there to start off our Tuesday.
Yeah, so we're still temperatures right around the low to mid-50s.
Our top story this morning, we're waiting to learn what caused a partial building collapse in downtown Anago.
The building lost part of its brick exterior Monday afternoon and left a hefty cleanup in its aftermath. Located off 5th Avenue and Superior Street, people say the building has been abandoned for years. It also showed signs of wear. Shortly after crumbling, the city began the cleanup.
Right over here, some of the bricks had fallen off, and I think that's probably what prompted them to get it down before it fell down. It's gonna be awful weird to see the building. I don't know if they're gonna tear it all the way down or what, but just, I don't know, kind of a landmark.
Fortunately, no injuries were reported from the collapse. And according to county land records, the owner of the building is Apostolic Adventures LLC with a P.O. Box address in Kiel. Well, we have continuing coverage this morning in the search for Elijah Vu. Search efforts have moved to a scrapyard known for a different case.
Monday's search took place in the Avery Auto Salvage Yard connected to the Stephen Avery case. Searchers said there's no evidence to link the missing 3-year-old boy to the Avery family. They say the search was not based on new information. Volunteer searchers got special permission from the Avery family to search the property. They looked anywhere the toddler could be.
There's always that dark side that makes you fear the worst. and pray that he's okay and he's alive, and hopefully he will be found alive. So we have to stay positive and just keep praying that he'll be found and can come home safe.
Volunteers plan to continue the search today. We have an update on an overdose death case in Portage County. Online court records say 42-year-old Kenneth Harden pleaded not guilty to a charge of hiding a corpse. The body of a 41-year-old man was found in a ditch in Portage County in 2022. Prosecutors say Harden refused to take the victim to the hospital. He's in jail on a $25,000 cash bond and is due back in court in June.
Well, just over 1 year ago, 2 police officers in Barron County were killed in the line of duty. On April 8th, 2023, Chetek police officer Emily Breidenbach and Cameron police officer Hunter Scheel were shot and killed while conducting a traffic stop. A memorial for Officer Breidenbach was unveiled outside the Chetek Police Department Monday afternoon. Next month, their names will be revealed on the Wisconsin Law Enforcement Memorial in Madison and at the Law Enforcement Memorial in Washington, D.C. Well, new this morning, now that a jury has been selected in Idaho, the trial of doomsday prophet Chad Daybell will soon be underway. Daybell is accused of murdering his second wife's children, JJ and Tylee. He's also facing charges for the murder of his first wife. Daybell pleaded not guilty to all of the crimes he's been accused of. Opening statements for Daybell are scheduled to begin tomorrow morning.
Also new this morning, tax day is less than a week away. If you haven't filed your 2023 taxes yet, time is running out. The deadline is Monday, April 15th. Everyone's taxes look different, but the most common documents you'll likely need to file are a W-2. That's your official wage and tax statement from your employer, a 1099 form, which are given by independent contractors to business owners, and a 1098 form. That's if you have mortgage or student loan interest. Experts say the worst thing you could do is not file at all.
One of those mistakes that we see people make is they just get scared. And so then they put it aside and they say, no, I don't want to deal with it at all, which is about the worst thing you can do.
If you really do need more time, anyone can file for an extension, but you must do that by April 15th. That will give you until October 15th to file. Well, new information this morning. Since the pandemic, fewer Wisconsin students have reliably made it to school. According to new data, chronic absenteeism continues to climb.
At D.C. Everest, about 19% of students are chronically absent. That means not showing up for 90% of the school year. At Stevens Point Senior High, nearly 26% of students are chronically absent. To address the numbers, SPASH is focusing on how they can get the students interested in learning. That means designing a curriculum tailored for them or offering tutoring. SPASH says many of their chronic absentee cases deal with mental health needs.
We've certainly made very concerted and consistent efforts to ensure that students have access to additional intervention supports if there is an identified skill deficiency in a particular area.
The D.C. Everest School District takes more of a team approach. Their staff conducts visits to the students' home. In your community this morning, whether you watched the solar eclipse here on News Channel 7 or saw it in person, it was still a memorable day.
The next solar eclipse won't make its way to the Badger State for another 75 years. The last time Wisconsin saw a solar eclipse was August of 2017. UW Stevens Point held a viewing party for the show at Coleman Field Monday. People piled in early to catch a glimpse of the eclipse, and it certainly did not disappoint.
I'm so glad I got to see it. I thought it wasn't going to happen. It was really cool to see how it almost covered the entire sun.
It's really exciting to have this opportunity to be able to look at kind of a more complete coverage of the sun.
People were given safety glasses for Monday's solar eclipse, but for top-notch viewing, you could look through a telescope.